What is going on? Today we are going to be talking about a mid-high skin fade to curly hair. One side's disconnected, the other side's blended. But before we do, my name is Andy. If you guys are new to this channel, I've been a barber for a decade now, and I've learned a lot of things through my journey. Some things took a little bit longer and some things I learned really quick. I'm here to cut your time in half because we don't want you to spend 10 years. We want you guys to finish this in maybe 3 or 4 to get to my level. If that is interesting to you, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button too if this video is helpful. Let's go on and get started. The first thing I do is wet the hair. I usually try to comb the hair to the way I'm about to style it. Just it gives me a better understanding of how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to use this T-liner right here to make my first guideline. It's going to be kind of like a mid-high, so this is going to be all the way up here, and then we're going to skin the bottom. When I make my first guideline, I always clean up the very bottom of the hair first, and then I bring it up to the spot that I need to take it to. So I tend to clean up as I make the guideline. I know some people just make the guideline and clean up at the end, but for you guys, if you guys are watching this and you're new, I would just recommend you do this. It's a lot easier that way. And it gets you into the habit of making sure all the hair are cut. And of course, we do the guideline all the way around. The back, I'm going to drop it slightly, just so the cowlick doesn't look like I'm just getting rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna drop it a little bit right there. And of course, we're gonna clean up the bottom. And then I'm gonna fade up this side first, and then I'll show you guys the other side, and then we'll do the back. The only reason I'm doing it like this is because I'm kind of showing you guys kind of like 3 times basically, right? If I do it all at once, which is how I want you guys to do it, you only get to watch it once. So today we're gonna do one side, go to the other side, and then do the back, okay? The next step is to shave every hair down. And I bring the shaver all the way up, pretty close to the line, but not like right next to it, okay? So about like a side finger width away. And at that point, use the shaver and go downward at that line you just made. The line you made with the shaver, okay? Continue that all the way around the head. All right, you guys, we're ready for our next step. I gotta bust out this loud clipper. I gotta bust out my loud clipper. Just know that the lever will be open, and then make your first guideline and then clean it out with open and close, okay? If you go all the way up to the line, make sure you open. If you go below the line, make sure you close. Very important. When you're making the guideline, I usually make the guideline all the way around the head, and then when I fade it out, I'll fade it out one side at a time. So this one, like I said, we're gonna close it to get rid of this line, and we'll make a new line, open it a little bit, and continue all the way till you get to the top line. Sometimes you have to go back down to the previous clipper because there's still a line on the bottom even after you close it. That's when you know that it's super short still. So you just go back to the previous step and take out that line, and then you can go back to your step again with close. And just like that, the line's blended out. Okay, we're moving on to our next step, which is this clipper right here. I put a number 1 on it, and I'll make my next guideline, which is gonna be pretty close to the top area. And then we'll blend it out with either close and then pop on the half guard. Then I close it all the way just to clean up the bottom line a little bit. It's not gonna get rid of the line because we still have a half guard to go to. This would be the half guard I'm using, 0.5. Kept it on, and then we're gonna go halfway on the clipper, okay? And once you get to that line, flick out. And if you do it correctly, it should blend out the complete line. But don't worry about it if you guys need to go over it a couple of times. It's really, really hard to blend it out all the way. Even I have trouble doing that sometimes. So, you know, you just close it, clean out the bottom line, make it look good right there. If you go higher, then open it a little bit more, and then go a little bit higher on the guideline. And it's already coming together. Like you're already seeing the blend. See that? The last thing I'm gonna do is clip over comb this little dark area right here. I don't want it to go straight all the way up, and I don't want it to go all the way in either. So just right in the middle somewhere. Just taking off a little bit of length. I still see a tiny bit of a line right here in this area. It's a little bit dark. I'm gonna pop on the one guard and then open it all the way. And then close it if I need to. If it doesn't get rid of the line, I'll close it a little bit. I'm using corners as well. And if it doesn't get rid of the line, I'll go back to my half guard. Now I'll start with open, and now I'll close it a little bit. If it doesn't get rid of the line, I'll close it a little bit more. All right, guys, we are going to be doing this side now. First, we're gonna get rid of that line. That's with this clipper right here. Close it all the way to get rid of the bottom, and we'll move on to the top. Okay, you see how this area is already blended? Then we still gotta work on that, but that's kind of how you do it. I know that I may seem like I'm doing it a lot faster. If you guys do have trouble with it, don't worry about it. Just keep trying to work at it. I've been doing this for a while, so it feels like it's super easy. It might not be as easy as it looks, okay? So just keep working at it and you'll get rid of the line. Sometimes I'll go backward on my steps, so T-liner and then down to shaver. If I see a line that I can't get rid of my T-liner or my clipper, I'll go down to a T-liner, and if I can't get rid of the T-liner, I'll go down to my shaver. And I would advise you guys to kind of do the same thing, because if it doesn't get rid of the line, just go down a step. And eventually you'll get down to the right step to get rid of that line you need to get rid of. So since we got rid of that line, and then I know there's a line here, we're gonna save that till later. We're gonna go ahead and remove that weight by doing a one open on this guard, remember? I'm gonna make a new line. Okay, these are just guidelines to make sure everything is even. Okay. You barely can see the top line, and that's because I'm flicking out as I'm making that line. It's a good habit to practice, because the more you flick out, the better you'll get at blending it, and eventually when you're able to do that, fading will be a lot easier. It's basically almost done, and I haven't even popped on the half guard yet. Now I'm putting on the half guard. And again, I'm doing it halfway, and if I feel like it's not cutting at the halfway mark, I'll close the lever all the way and I'll hit the bottom line. And if I want to go back up to the top, I open it and I'll go back up to the top line. Okay, you want to like kind of create that habit, because if you close it all the way and you go to the top line, you're gonna make the top area really short, and then you got to redo a lot of the steps. So be careful when you're changing out the lever or changing the lever right here. Make sure that if you go in close, go lower. If you go open, then go higher. Okay, so there's certain areas that I'm seeing right now that as I'm closing, it doesn't cut. Go back a step. You can already see that it's already beginning to blend nicely. I'm gonna clip over comb this little dark area and we should be done with that side. These top areas we're gonna do lighten it when we cut the top, but we're mainly just concerned about from here to here, and it looks like it's blended pretty nicely. So we're gonna work on the back. Yeah. All right, we clean up the zero line, so the next step would be the one open all the way. We're gonna go up, make our next guideline. The back is pretty much the same. Sometimes you'll get clients with like way thicker hair in the back. You just gotta spread out the guideline a little bit bigger, just a little bit, not too much. And do the exact same step. The hardest part about fading as a beginner is that you won't be able to see the lines that you're supposed to take out. At the same time, like you're not sure what are considered a line, a dark spot, or how it's supposed to look like, because you haven't seen enough hairstyle to know. But just keep fading, keep cutting, keep practicing, and eventually you'll see, you know, lines and areas that are darker, and then you'll get better and better and better. But the only way to get better is to do it. Make sure you keep cutting. You can watch my videos, but make sure you practice it. It's very, very important to practice. And if you ever get stuck, come back, watch the video, and then practice again. All right, so we're gonna cut the top. We're gonna take just a little bit off the top. I've done a lot of these videos where I show you guys how to cut the top. Of course, wet the hair. You don't have to soak it where all the waters are flying down their face. Make sure you wet the hair and get in between the hair too, because if you just get the top, then it's gonna start dripping everywhere. I start from the front. Most of the time, this is where I begin, and I take a little bit off. That's the guideline I use to cut the rest, okay? And if you watch my videos before, always go front to back at least 8 times. If you're new here, there's a huge reason to do front to back. It's to make the hair come out pretty evenly. If you don't do at least 8 times, you're rushing it and it will show. Okay, cutting the top is just as important as cutting the sides. You're standing from the back and cutting it, and then now go to the side and then pull the hair up and make sure there's nothing like sticking up randomly. Okay, you're not cutting off length, you're just evening everything out. And if you did it at least 8 times, it should come out pretty even already.
I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comment below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Later.